Now, the S&P and the Dow rallied this afternoon, as indeed as the Nasdaq, just crept into positive territory before we went on air. Is this anything more than a dead cat bounce?
Well, it is a little bit of a dead cat bounce, and the buy the dippers are still in the market. But to go back to the three stocks that you mentioned at the top of the show, American investors are starting to worry about where are these folks making their money off of their backs. Tesla putting people out of work as far as driverless trucks. That's the number one industry in 27 American states, with Facebook maybe misusing your own personal details. And then obviously Bezos putting retail on its knees and costing a lot of those people their jobs. The American investors taken back a step back and said, hey, how are we paying these people and how much are they making off of me?
And indeed, how much are they making from Uncle Sam as well? I mean, that's the point, that's the line of attack that Trump's taken with Amazon in particular.
Yeah, well, Trump's taken an interesting tone with Amazon, and I think there's a lot more there to be played out. You know, yes, how they abuse the post office. Do they abuse it? Well, maybe so a little bit. But really, emails abuse the post office. That's been the problem. They've been losing money with the regular mail, not packages. Packages that probably actually have helped. But it also could be a Washington Post thing. So just because it's Washington Post, no, but the things that the Washington Post has said, especially during the election.
So your argument would be then that the tech sector is still vulnerable to further sell-offs?
It is. I mean, since the 26th of January, at our highs, we've seen $2.34 trillion come off of the stocks, the S&P 500 stocks, right?
$2.3 trillion.
Think about it, but only 25 stocks were responsible for 40% of that. So, yeah, we've got a problem. This has not been a broad rally, and it's going to be, could be a broad decline.
What about the markets more generally, Scott? I mean, are concerns over trade wars between the US and China crowding out the fundamentals to an extent?
A little bit. I mean, everybody says, hey, we're starting to see GDP pick up. Look what unemployment's doing. Donald Trump's been, I think, actually done very well with the Chinese problem, just getting him to the table, because it needs to be talked about, right? It's costing American businesses a lot with, you know, some of these technological rights that we've gotten are getting stolen. However, just because things are going well in the economic realm doesn't mean that the market has to go up, because if we all remember, over the last 8 years of the last administration, we had horrible news coming out of the economy, but the market went straight up. So those two things don't always have to go hand in hand.
The irony is, I mean, company earnings out of the US were pretty good in the first quarter, weren't they?
Yes, and generally speaking, the U.S. economy is healthy. And think about it. We're the only central bank that's stopped quantitative easing, the bond buying program to keep interest rates artificially low, and actually raised interest rates 1.5%. So we should be way out ahead, and it's still early days here, but so far so good.
Is there a case for saying that the tech stocks need to be looked at more on fundamental grounds?
Slowly but surely, and again, you said that Spotify listing today, they've never made money. They haven't made. It's not like they haven't made money for 2 years. They've been around since 2008. They haven't made money for almost 10 years. So that's something to consider. That Wall Street now, is it just a place to go gamble, or is it a place to actually raise money for a solid business idea? We're still going to wait and see how that comes out.
What about a stock like Amazon, though, where it's been profitable, it just doesn't return the profits to shareholders? Is it going to come under pressure over time, do you think, to start paying more dividends?
Well, regardless of the Bezos, Washington Post, and post office stuff that is happening between the White House and Amazon, still, remember, Amazon Web Services, arguably up to 50% of the internet, the web, the world's internet goes through their servers. See, so they've got other things that make a lot of money for them, and that's underpinning a lot of that stock price too.
All right, Scott Shellady from TGM, you're always great to have you on the show. Right. Thanks for joining me.